Some of the things that we are noticing that customers don't really talk about, but are very existing problems, are the whole adopting of a very simple use case early on in their journey. So what they're actually doing is all these companies coming up and saying, okay, we'll offer you a free proof of concept. And for that, they're kind of rushing through, evaluating their own use cases and start off with something very, very trivial. And what that actually does is it does not represent the actual situation which might be being faced by their IT teams or accounting teams, which when they go ahead and put together in a real world scenario are going to fail. So that is one biggest problem that we are seeing. Also, what is happening is on the back end, the front end champions are saying, okay, we're ready to go, let's go ahead and make this happen. But on the back end, the infrastructure is not prepared for it. A lot of times there's a whole bunch of different systems that have to be tapped into. And what is happening is there's the identity and access control of those systems that is now being handed over to the robot. Sometimes what that is doing is it is creating issues in the logs on the back end where people are not being able to track how the access is happening to these critical systems, especially in a banking kind of environment, right? So those are two key areas that we have seen. Tool selection has been big. People are spending a lot of time in selecting a tool and doing a POC, but there is nothing right now in place which allows particular use cases or bots to be transferred over from one tool to another. Typically, a customer evaluates more than one tool, and in all likelihood, sometimes does not even go ahead with that particular tool. And what that results in is simply an issue where the new tool has to redo what has already been done. So in those kind of cases, it becomes a little bit of a complication from the customer side, right? Now, what that is resulting in is when the customer is coming in and talking to us and saying, oh, you know what, I went with this particular tool, and now that is not happening. Companies like us need to step in and see if there's a way to design a tool which kind of ports over some of the work that has been already created. And this has been a classic problem in original custom application development. You try one thing, it doesn't work, and then you have to redo it again using a different technology. So critical factors in this is largely being sure as much as possible about what your original use cases were. A lot of tools don't have talent available right now. The industry is jumping on RPA, especially in certain parts of the US, where it is a newer concept. And when they jump onto it, they're not spending enough time in seeing what talent is available out there for that particular tool. And that is causing another problem. They go ahead and get a tool, and now they have to look out in the market for resources, and those resources are not available. And now we have a situation where half the work has been done and the other half is going to cost a whole lot more money. I've come across a client where they had to bring in people from Europe for that particular tool for a much higher price. So the client should definitely look at what kind of resources are available on a particular tool that they're looking at, right? And then sometimes what the customer also does is they get super excited and want to jump onto a much bigger deployment than what they should do. So originally they should keep it simple. They should try and utilize some use cases which are not overly simple, but should not be spread all across the organization. And that is where the deployment can become successful. Agile is a big part of what is being done, especially now with more and more nearshore happening. So that is something that the customer absolutely needs to understand, that if they are not ready to implement Agile-based RPA implementation, then they are most definitely going to run into challenges.